Good evening, everyone. It's your hostess with the mostest and your brother from another mother that you ain't got no other. It's AB.Marley. Hey guys, how we doing today?
And it's your girl Nivaeyah, your sister from another mister, because you know
Papa was a rolling stone.
Y'all already know why we here, because today is Monday, which means that we definitely gotta get that mindset right. So today's letter is S.
For salvation. The definition of salvation is seeking peace within yourself, relieving yourself of past pains and traumas that you can continue to go on with your life. A lot of Catholic churches use this as a way to relieve themselves of sin, basically. Like, think about it this way, you guys. When you made a mistake in your past and you let it sit with you for so many years because you think that you did something wrong, you must seek salvation within yourself. That means that you got to forgive yourself for the past pain that you have caused. If you know that it was wrong back in that time because you made that mistake and you made the proper steps to take care of it, then you are on your way to gradually getting your salvation, peace of mind. And that's what Mindset Mondays is always about. It's always getting your mindset to be able to not only to forgive yourself for past problems, but to realign the way that you think, keeping an open mind and making sure that whatever that you got going on in your life that you're trying to take care of, it can really be a blessing for you in the sky. Like, and I don't mean like when people are going through some traumas and then they go like, I'm blessed. Like, you're just using that as a wall to say that you're still going through things, but you are loving the fact that these problems don't seem as big as they actually are, and you can actually break them down to taking care of life choices pretty much and being happy all the time, honestly.
You know how someone has trash, but they always say one man's trash is another man's treasure. And you can think of it in that kind of way, because just because something may not seem like it's good to you doesn't mean that it might not be good to someone else. And with that being said, that's where that salvation, that salvage comes from, because you're trying to save something or trying to basically renew it, kind of like almost like a phoenix, like a rebirth kind of sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's nothing that's wrong with that, but just to clarify, if you're going to reinvent yourself or do a rebirth, or make sure that is something that you want to do for you, and you're not doing that because other people are putting their ideas onto you. Oh, I think it'd be better if you did this, but just because they think that it works for you doesn't mean that it will work for you.
Exactly. It's everybody else's dreams don't have to be your own. If you wish to take something from somebody that they want to pass on to you, which is fine, but create a new way of showing that tradition. You don't have to keep it exactly the same way, because what you're doing is it's putting a lot of pressure on you to keep the family from reliving the old glory days, mm-hmm. or times that were rough. Like,
definitely.
Like how like we have like holidays that celebrate the life that you have been given, like St. Patrick's Day, for example.
I was thinking of birthdays, but
that too as well. But I mean, St. Patrick's Day is actually originally about a man who went through a lot of trauma in his life, and he, became a bishop and led the people into seeking salvation within themselves. Find that forgiveness for what you got going on. You went through a lot of pain, but you make the best out of it. And when he passed along, that's what the holiday was originally about, just celebrating the life that he gave for other people. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing for having a birthday. You're celebrating the life that was given to you. Even though you might have come out in a place where it's not as peaceful, where it's, doesn't make you feel as happy as you thought you were originally, it's supposed to teach you that this is how bad it can get, and it could always be worse, and you should not be grateful for what you have. You just have to make sure to keep yourself going. Like, for an example, this one's kind of a deep thing to touch upon, but
take your time. If you feel that this is too deep of a cut to open, you don't have to open it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Always open it later.
Well, no, I can give like a touch upon it, because like it's a serious thing that people have to know, that you're not the only one going through it. when it comes to like stuff like suicidal moments, there are times where you do not really love yourself or love the people enough around you to stick around to see how well it can turn out. There have been times in my life where I've had situations where I thought about it, I've attempted it, and now I look at life differently. Because like, I really let so much baggage in the back of my mind build up to the point where I felt like I don't need to exist. Like, my life really truly didn't matter anymore. It's like, oh, once I complete this, then I can just be done with it and move past. And hopefully if I leave this world, that things will be better off. And in reality, I've seen people who have lost lives and who have family members that are gone because of those certain situations. And it was like, wow, like, you guys are really hurt by this. Many of y'all are very upset and going like, why did you just leave us like that? Why couldn't you have told us? I would have been there for you. We could have cried together, you know, so on and so forth. So it makes you realize that if you did the same thing, how would everybody else feel about it? And even if you leave this world, when you do that, you're not really solving the problem. You still have that pain. You know how like they say, you should never go to bed angry because that can be passed on to the next day. I still take that and describe it. If I were to die or if I were to pass on and I still had unfinished baggage of emotion that I didn't take care of, it's like I'm passing that along to the other world. Like, I don't really believe in, like,
pretty much paying it forward in a negative way. I understand that, you know. It's really difficult, you know, especially talking about suicide. I mean, it's a pretty common thing that everyone feels like they have those thoughts, you know, at some point in their life. And I think that's because we feel like we are so far gone that we are beyond the point of being saved. We can't be salvaged. We can't be renewed. But you can only do as much as you allow yourself to do. And even if you do only have, even if you are to the point to where you may not have as much going for you, do the best that you can with what you have, and that is how you're going to get your peace. That is how you are going to be able to move forward. Because if you don't take ownership and pride of yourself, no one will ever respect you. You will never get where you want to be because you're always going to be looking for other people to get that gratification.
Like that form of happiness or just a fix in a sense. Because from my point of view, I could say it like this. It's where you look at everything that you got going on for yourself. You don't feel like you've accomplished anything. You don't feel like you amount to anything. It can happen in times where you've lost a job, you lost a family member, you know, like your financial stability is all the way gone. You don't have anything going for you. You are just starting off from square one. And to me, it's like, why do I have to start all over again? It's different when you do it in a video game because you already know how everything's gonna go. You already been through the whole thing, and it's like, well, I just want to start over to give myself a different chance to see how the outcome can turn out. But in that same fashion, it can work for you in both reality and in a video game. When you complete the entire game, or you completed the part of your life that you feel has reached its maximum, then it's like, okay, now I can start all over again on something else. Where can I take these routes? Where can I do these things? It's going to see different results, and that's the whole part of the journey. You're supposed to go on an adventure knowing that you don't know everything, you don't have control of everything that's going on. All you can do is play through the game. You can play through life and see if you're willing to put yourself through another journey.
Especially, you know, with what's going on with everything, you know, right now in the world with, you know, the crisis that we have that's going on. You know, and this is one of those times where, you know, you probably are trying to get redemption, or you are reaching for salvation, you know, and this is the perfect time right now for you to become a phoenix and reinvent yourself. Do something you never did before. Do something that you always wanted to do. You know, you can only get as much as you give out. you can only do as much as you allow yourself. In order for you to ever truly move on and to gain the success that you want to, you have to go inside of yourself. You have to have those sit down moments. You have to meditate. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to get to know who you are. Not who you are when you are around your friends, not who you are when you are with your significant other, not who you are with your parents or classmates or whatever. Get to know who you are
by yourself. Sit in a room, in a quiet room for a minute, and just listen to the voices in the back of your head and understand like what is going on, because we can always put up a front about how we're feeling about certain situations, but it doesn't fix the problem. Remember how we had that conversation in our last video about when you build this wall, you have these obstacles. There are different ways you can go, you can get to it. You can go around it, you can go over it, you can go under it, you can go through it. There are going to be different results, but the same thing can be said about sitting in a quiet room and to yourself. You're trying to fix whatever triggers you, that brings up a bad memory that happened. Like, go back to those bad memories and say, oh, well, this is how things went out. This is how things turned out. How I could have handled it better. But at this point, I know what I could have done if it were to happen again. Now I can take that and move forward because it's over with. It's part of the past. You shouldn't hold on to things that you could never really fix. At least at that time, if you have the opportunity to fix it in your adult life, be proud of yourself that you actually thought about doing something else for yourself.
Even just adding on to that, sometimes there are, situations that you may run into, being a kid or, even just being a teenager. And there are some things that you don't have any control over and there's nothing you can do about it, and you might not be able to save it or do anything, but when you are old enough to be able to take control over situations and learn from the things that happened in the past, no matter how good or bad it was, especially if it's bad, you have to take that and go with it and use that as a tool to keep moving forward.
Use it as a stepping stone. Every time a problem happens in your life, you're supposed to step over it. That means that you've completed this goal in your life where it's like, okay, well, this was a problem that happened. I'm trying to get over it. Now I fixed the issue. I move past it. Now step over that one. Okay, here's a new problem that has risen itself to your presence. It's like, now how am I going to get over this one? And then you keep going until you reach the stars, and the sky's the limit. You reach out to the galaxy, you're going to keep going. So you just have to break it down step by step and keep moving forward. If you keep looking behind you, you're gonna see how high up you got for a moment. And if you have like anxiety over heights, you're just gonna stop yourself from going. But when you keep looking forward and look up to the sky, you're never gonna stop trying to climb up there. You really are.
Yeah, definitely. And wrapped up into the part of us not feeling good, us not this, us not that sometimes you don't even realize that there is someone that that's even in a worse position than you are.
Exactly.
And sometimes you guys need to go to each other and help each other out and talk to each other to get each other out of that hole, out of that gutter, so that way you both can find the peace, find that serenity, find that happiness that you've been looking for. Because in order for you to truly be salvaged, you have to let go of any old baggage. You have to let it go. You have to free yourself. As long as you stay connected to any and everything that has ever hurt you, as long as you keep a bond with that, you're never going to move forward because you're always holding on to it and it's going to weigh you down. It's like swimming in a pool with bricks. You can't swim in a pool with bricks. You're going to drown. You got to let it go. You let it go, you're going to start floating, and then from floating, you're going to be able to start swimming and moving,
Well, here's the thing. Know your limits. Know how much you can take in a day. Know how far you are willing to go with it and be honest with yourself. But stop pretending like you're going to actually take care of it. You spend a whole day thinking about it in the back of your head, and it's like you spent the whole day thinking about it, but you didn't actually do anything with it. okay, so you know your limits. If you think too much about it, you're not gonna actually be going anywhere. So it's like I don't need to think about it. I need to just do it. Okay, let me take care of it. I mean that in some categories. I don't mean in everything. But when you become an overthinker, you stay stagnant. You're not going anywhere. If that makes any sense. Because I can say for a number of different reasons why you should be able to pay attention to the people around you, because when you spend so much time looking in a mirror, you don't realize that that same facial feature that you make when you're really sad to yourself or when you're going through some kind of moment, you see that within the people that you surround yourself with. And it's like, hey, I see what's going on, and now you're trying to have a conversation. You can even see some signs when you're with a stranger, and it's like when you're trying to communicate with them and they still have this wall up, it's like, I see the limits of how far you're willing to go to have these conversations with me about, you know, certain topics, simply because like it's the what I would normally do. So it's like when you start to understand yourself, you start to see similar signs in other people. That's why you should really make sure to take care of your mindset. Because when you find a way to seek and gain that salvation, that peace of mind practically, you can pass that along to somebody else, and both parties can be like, I finally get it. I'm finally understanding what I can do right now. Now I have
you know, yeah, some ways that you can actually get some pieces right. Get a journal, right? I know it sounds kiddish. I know it sounds like something that you would expect a teenage girl to do, or you know, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be a teenage girl. You don't got to be a teenager at all to write in a journal. You know, it's a way to release everything without you actually physically having to talk to someone.
Yes.
Maybe the things you're going through, you don't feel comfortable enough talking to someone about, and you don't know how to release it. Write it. You know.
Yeah. Listen, there's nothing wrong with, if you could sit here and write lyrics to a song, if you could sit here and write down quotes or a paragraph to your when you're going to school or college and you have to make a report, if you have that kind of time to do that, then you should also make date and time where you need to write down how you're feeling in that moment, because once it passes over, you can look back into it and understand what happened. That's why you need to find hobbies. That's why you need to find interests that make you have some type of fun. Like for me, for an example, I'm a gamer, I'm an artist, and what I love to do, and I'm a storyteller as well, because what I like to do is when I'm playing video games, I like to create a storyline. I like to go through the entire thing. Let me go through all the adventures in multiple different ways. And it's like, ooh, I like how that turned out. But you know, if you put this story with that story, if you know, put your own little input into it so it can relate to you, and then when you tell that story, it seems more from the heart. And that's the beauty of storytelling when it comes to having different hobbies. And it's like, I'm also an artist as well. I draw. Like whenever I feel some type of way, I've drawn myself in both the light and the dark. Like I've had a moment where I had created this presence, and it was all in black. They had yellow eyes, and they were looking from like my shadow, and that shadow represented my dark inner thoughts at that time. And it's like it's manifesting itself into reality. I've now claimed your existence. Now what is it that's so bad to the point where I feel like there's always a shadow in that scope? You know what I'm saying?
So many people, you know, feel like they can't be saved, and I'm not talking about religion saved. I'm just talking about you being free from any and everything that you feel is causing harm to you.
Exactly.
Whether that be people, whether it be a job, whether it be finances, anything that you feel is a detriment that is causing harm to you that you feel like you cannot be saved from. You know, we tend to overlook things, we get in over our heads,
yes,
and we don't realize how deep we are in until it is too late. And
there are very clear signs in when it's happening around you. You know how like they say, open up your third eye? To me, it's already open. You're just choosing to ignore it. You see things in front of you.
The thing is, it's not even just that. It's a simple fact of just being vicarious with a lot of things.
I see what you're saying.
You know, and it's one of those things to where You're like, I got this under control, but you really don't.
No.
And sometimes you feel like you're in too deep that there's nothing that you can do, and you bury yourself into a hole. But there's ways that you can get around it. You just have to figure out the proper situation, how to do it. And I know that, this might be a tough one for some people, but maybe you should get a psychiatrist.
There's nothing wrong with therapy.
There's nothing wrong with it. I can tell you from experience, with me being adopted, having to be in the foster care system, although I was adopted, I had a psychiatrist that I had to talk to. There was nothing that I could do to get out of that. It was something that I had to do, because they wanted to see what my mental state was. They wanted to see how I was. And I was about maybe all the way from 8 years old to being probably maybe 19, 20 years old. I still had to see my psychiatrist. So, and sometimes, and I understand, some people are like, well, maybe I can't afford it, or I'm too scared, or I feel like there is so much that's going on in my life that I can't talk to no one about it. Okay, if you feel like you can't talk to no one about it, go walk. Take a walk at the beach. Go to the park.
So
maybe go to a hill or something. Go somewhere where that there's not a lot of people.
And you have
that you feel safe going.
Yeah. You have to have a peace of mind. So when Sir Outsider was on a few of our videos back, me and him are friends to the point to where I was going through something. He saw it happening. He actually came to my rescue and said, hey, look, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, but let's go for a walk. When you're physically doing something, you're giving yourself an exercise, when you are taking that opportunity to find a place where you can be happy. Because it was hard for me to talk about it on paper. It was hard for me to talk about it to a counselor, because I've had one myself. It was to a point where I was very lashing out at everything at the same time. I'd have my episodes. So, and he was like, okay, let's talk about it. What's really bothering you? Say what's actually happening. And then once you admit it to yourself and speak it into existence,
it's just like a release.
Yeah.
It's not even really you feel like a burden is lifted off your shoulder. You just feel like you don't have anything just pulling and tugging on you.
Exactly.
Kind of sort of, you don't feel like you always gotta constantly watch over your shoulder, because you now know that you are free of this, and you don't have to keep it knit tight in a ball.
Exactly.
The thing is, with just kind of concluding everything, no matter what the situation is, generally speaking, for the most part, anything can be saved. You can be saved. Once again, I'm not talking religion. I'm talking about your mindset, just trying to renew yourself, trying to get in a better space.
Exactly.
It's not too late, for you.
It's never too late.
Ever.
Speaking from experience,
yes.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. It may take you some time to open up and to be able to
admit to yourself.
Admit to it, but like I said, there is never too late for you to try to fix or save. Because then you're going to be lugging around this big burden, an unwanted burden that you did to yourself, and that's never anything that you want. Because that aura, that negativity, that energy, that ball you're carrying is going to carry on to whoever you get in contact with. And with that, you don't want to attract the wrong type of people because of the negative energy and the aura that you're oozing off because of how you feel momentarily. Because that is going to start a way worse problem than what you already have.
Exactly. But so this is what we can do to fix and try to have some form, like we were talking earlier, a peace of mind. You guys are always going to get different steps. Make sure that you're able to communicate to somebody. Make sure that you're always having a peace of mind by finding a place to go walk, to go exercise, to read a book, create a hobby for yourself, become a storyteller. That trial that you're going through during this time will always be a blessing at the end, because it's something that you can talk about later. I look at it as I could be a great storyteller, because I'm like, girl, you're never gonna believe the stuff I went through. Man, I can't wait to tell you what happened. And it's like you laugh at it because it's finally over it. You've finally gotten over it where it's not as bad as you think. So you guys make sure that you take good care of yourselves. You're making sure that you are finding ways to seek the salvation that you need. We're going to get into our next word, which is going to be E, and that is for exercising. There are going to be mental exercises, physical ones, and emotional ones that we're going to get into for next week. So yeah.
I just want to say, you who are watching this, your life is important. Even if you feel like it's not important, if you feel like nobody cares about you, they care.
Somebody's always looking up to you. You might not notice it, you might not even see it all the time, but there's always someone that wants to be like you. Whatever you're going through, you actually can complete that goal. And when you finish it, show it off to the people around you, because you never know who you might inspire to do something just as good. We are always teachers, and we're always going to be students. When you get older, you become both. Know that about yourself and push forward.
Hey, you. Yeah, you right there. You right there watching. We love you.
Care about you, okay?
We want you
do the best
to
you
stay
can.
And do all the things that you want to accomplish in your life.
Make sure you guys subscribe to AB.Marley and Nivaeyah.
Like us.
Yeah.
And that is it, y'all. Peace.
It's your brother from another mother that truly ain't got no other. It's AB.Marley. Hey guys, how we doing today?
It's your girl Nivaeyah.
Woo woo.
Oh man, okay.
Oh, we can just, do what we gotta do. So, today we're gonna get into the word.
I didn't even do my whole intro. You just cut me complete. I said complete.
Come on now, we gotta get this shit serious.
We obviously ain't gonna get nothing going.
Okay. Man, like literally the camera.
First off, okay. I'm only off of like probably 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, because I was up all night editing videos, and I had to do another video for a different channel for somebody else.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Kino, I lied. The channel was Kino King YT. But yeah.
And I got another separate channel I'm working on, manga and stories, and I am.
That wasn't even my channel. That was Walter's channel.
I was talking about my own.
Okay, let's get this going for real.
God damn, we're 2 minutes in again. Okay,
all right,
2.
Man.
We start, and we'll do this. We will do the intro again. God damn it!
Okay. You know, it's fucked up because when things are not supposed to be funny is when they're the most funniest. All right.
Some stupid ass shit.
Okay.
No, at 2.
All right.
Shut up. Don't even go. I just I tried. I don't look in the sky no more. God.
Okay. Let's give it like.
All right.
Let's give it
20
like right here.
It's your brother from another mother that truly ain't got no other. This is AB.Marley. Hey guys, how we doing today?
And it's your girl Nivaeyah, your sister from another mister, because Papa was a
Rolling Stone.
And obviously today is a Monday, which means that we gotta get that mindset right.
Oh shit, the mic even fell down.
Oh man.
Another day. It really is.
Where am I going?
Where you going?
We are having technical technically difficulties.
We are having technical difficulties.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell if that's my hair or that's a shadow that makes my hair look like that.
No, that's the shadow that makes your hair look like that. Okay, so, goddamn.
We ain't going to. Don't tell
Ain't no mountain high enough. Okay.
at night when I'm alone in my room. Don't tell nobody, but I like to snack on food.
The lead up was great, by the way. God damn, that was good.
Also, I like to fart in areas that I'm alone with. Because I know that I say it's easy.
You know that when it coming out the back of your ass, gotta be like, excuse me.
Okay, I'm kidding about the farting part.
No, she's not. Anyway.
Did you just fart?
No, that was this. My feet rub against.
Man, that's some tough ass toes you got.
I do. God damn.